This is a way to keep G4 TV alive. And please be courteous and watch through the whole video. Thank you very much. And enjoy. Hey everybody, David Calderon here. Yep, this is Revenge of the Show. Welcome to another episode of Revenge of the Show, a revival for G4. And today I want to talk about last night on Sunday, which had not only Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury, the aftermath, as well as the Screen Actors Guild Awards, but also the fate of Dilbert. And by that I mean the comic strip. But first let me go on with Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. I've seen the highlights of Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. And let me tell you something. It was unbelievable seeing all of that. At least the good thing, well, Jake Paul didn't really get victorious, but at least he didn't get knocked out. even Jake threw a few punches at Fury. I gotta say, the fight was unbelievable. I know that his older brother Logan is a wrestler, and I have seen him wrestle, definitely in Crown Jewel. But with Jake Paul boxing is another. Now I heard word that there's going to be a rematch between the two, but who knows how long that will be? Will that be next year? Will that be in a few months? Who knows? But I bet people still will want to see Jake Paul versus KSI. Everybody used to ask me about that, and so am I. Hey, but I bet people want to see Jake and Tommy fight again. Who knows? I mean, we all know that hopefully the rematch will happen soon. But who knows how long that will be? Probably another year or two or so. Who knows? But right now, apart from all that boxing match, there was also so you guys heard about the Screen Actors Guild Awards, right? So here are a few ups and downs of this year's Screen Actors Guild Awards. The ups, the first thing are the ups, which of course had who had the most nominations. And from what I can tell, that was Everything Everywhere All at Once. The movie, the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was pretty awesome hearing about that. And the film managed to earn a lot of, well, not a lot, but the most awards, like 4 of them. It was just unbelievable. I mean, and it has been a first, for Asian films like that, especially for like a leading actress and leading actor, and supporting actress, which included Jamie Lee Curtis. And I heard that it won for Best Film. And a big shocker for like a best television program, The White Lotus, which has Jennifer Coolidge in it. And I think it's on HBO or HBO Max. Either one, I don't really know, but it really is surprising to know about that. But there were the downs of the Screen Actors Guild Awards. It wasn't shown on television as in the previous years, either on TNT or on TBS. Hell, it wasn't even on both of them. That was the first for the Screen Actors Guild Awards, because they always done it in the previous years, either on TBS or on TNT. But now it was aired on a Netflix YouTube channel, which was a surprise for me also. I mean, I'm not much into the Screen Actors Guild Awards, but it was a surprise seeing about that. I still prefer watching it on TV. I mean, everybody has a choice, on how to watch it. Then the other down part was Mark Wahlberg. The Screen Actors Guild slammed Mark Wahlberg because like there were like there were like past issues between Mark Wahlberg, and that included a hate crime which involved somebody of race. Like it probably, well, I don't know what it is, but some people were just upset about it. Like I don't know why. But according to the TMZ, that's what the whole issue was with when it came to Mark Wahlberg. Maybe it's because he was hosting it, and why some people in the Screen Actors Guild were upset about it. But either way, it was a good show. Either way, even Brendan Fraser managed to win through his performance of that film, The Whale. I didn't see it, but he did win for it. Okay, let's get on to serious scenarios. Like during the weekend, like Friday through Sunday, there was issues between Scott Adams, and he's the creator of Dilbert, and that's newspaper stuff has been on there since like 1990 that I know of. Hell, I mean, it even had a television series which lasted only for 2 seasons. But I think you know what I'm coming up with, because like a few years ago, Scott Adams discussed why Dilbert was canceled on UPN. I mean, it started on UPN, and Scott Adams stated years ago, like in 2019 or 2020, that he said that the reason it got canceled is because that the network UPN wanted to target it on black people, which was way too much of what I heard. Because like Scott Adams, some people like Scott Adams don't know to think before they tweet. I mean, I'm just a little surprised and upset about when he heard about that. But that was years ago. What he said then this weekend on his podcast was way more racist and offensive to some people. I mean, I don't hate Scott Adams. Hell, I don't even hate Dilbert. Dilbert is definitely not racist. He stated all white people should stay the hell away from black people, and that was his quote. Yeah, according to some websites, that's what he stated. I mean, he said that no, like he said he says he like didn't find himself as a white person because he can't support because no matter how many years they try to support the black community, he says he doesn't want to do it anymore. I mean, I'm not sure if Scott Adams was being racist, but I know that Dilbert is not racist. But with the creator Scott Adams, it put him in his comic strip Dilbert in a lot of hot water. Scott Adams, you know, he's the creator of Dilbert. He stated that he said he added a new character in his comic strip, and that caused a lot of issues because of it, or maybe because of political issues that I think of. I mean, I know the changes of Dilbert so far because I know that with Dilbert, it's still based in an office setting. You know, this was way before The Office, and Scott Adams was one of the creators and executive producers of the show. And this was way before The Big Bang Theory, because apart from Office stuff, it's also about like science and all that scenario. I still remember it. But now Scott Adams is ruining himself and Dilbert. Because yesterday a Cleveland newspaper stated that they were pulling Dilbert off the strip. And yeah, that's really a problem. I mean, even I would know that the comic strip is not racist, but with the creator, I mean, stating what he said in the past, like, I don't know what to think about anymore. That is just unbelievable from what I can say. Okie dokie, now it's time for the next thing I want to talk about is the feed. So, first thing I want to talk about on the feed is that about Yellowstone. You know, the 5th season is currently happening on the Paramount Network. So, if you guys know about Yellowstone and Kevin Costner, there's been rumors throughout the past week saying that he might be leaving Yellowstone after season 5 because there were issues of of him in the filming scenarios, like the filming schedule for what I know, and that Matthew McConaughey might be replacing him or end up being on one of the spin-offs. But who knows what might happen either way. But from what I heard about one of the Yellowstone actors, one of the other main cast members, actors, actor Wes Bentley, who is also on the show as well. He stated that Kevin Costner and the rest of the producers and the directors of the show were making negotiations. Like, they're still in talks of negotiations whether Kevin Costner will still be on Yellowstone or not. And they can work with his filming schedule as well. Who knows what might happen either way. I mean, like I said, I don't really watch Yellowstone that much, but who knows what might happen. I mean, they might reason with Kevin Costner. And besides, the show will definitely look different without him. But who knows? Maybe it might last like 2 more seasons after Kevin Costner. Like, it'll be like a issue with the people, the kids, and the people who work at Yellowstone who want to take control of the ranch. That would sound like a pretty good idea, but maybe in the future. Just not this year, right now. So yeah, Kevin Costner has not stated he's going to be leaving Yellowstone yet. It's still a rumor. So who knows what might happen later on. We'll just have to wait until later this coming month. And this month. But it would be awesome to see Matthew McConaughey on a cable show. I mean, I've seen Yellowstone premiere not just on the Paramount Network, that's the whole point. On season 5 of Yellowstone, I didn't just see a premiere on the Paramount Network, but I also saw the premiere on MTV, TV Land, and also VH1. Yeah, they premiered on all those networks. Well, I mean, they are owned by Viacom CBS, but yeah, that is a surprising update. But now, speaking of shows that might end, I mean, there was also like Judge Court shows. If you guys ever heard of Judge Mathis and the People's Court, they're probably going to end after 20 seasons. And I've seen and heard a few of them. I mean, Judge Mathis is in Chicago. But the People's Court, I heard, is in New York. And I think it's been way longer than Judge Mathis, I heard. I mean, with the People's Court, before Judge Marilyn Milan, there was another guy who did the People's Court, but I forgot who his name was anyway. But, man, 20 seasons after all that, for both Judge Mathis and the People's Court. And another surprising update. One last surprising update is Live with Kelly and Ryan. I mean, it's not going to be called Live with Kelly and Ryan anymore after a month or two, because Ryan Seacrest is going to be leaving the talk show after doing it for about 5 years with Kelly Ripa. I think like 3 or 4 years being in with Kelly. Like, he co-hosted the show with Kelly Ripa. And I mean, before him, it was just Kelly and Michael. But then after Michael Strahan left for Good Morning America, it was just Life with Kelly again. But I mean, he did come to terms with it, like leaving the show, and even Kelly Ripa came to terms with it, and they are good friends. I mean, it is surprising. It was surprising the first time when I heard that Ryan Seacrest was going to do the talk show with Kelly. The first time when I first heard about it, but man, I mean, it's surprising that Ryan Seacrest leaving the show after all that. But we do have some news. But there has been some good news anyway. There's already been a brand new co-host announced, and that's Mark Pellegrino. I think that's how his last name is pronounced. And he guest co-hosted the show with Kelly a few times before. I mean, he's not really brand new. But hey, I don't have a problem with it. As long as Kelly has a regular co-host with her, I mean, I'm all for it. But man, well, I mean, it's not going to be the end of show business for Ryan Seacrest. He is going to be he is and still is the host of American Idol, and nobody can take that away from him. And yet, American Idol's on ABC. But yeah, like kudos to Ryan Seacrest, who's been on the longest. And who knows what might happen later on. But yeah. So now we're going to start by going to the scenario of the feed. Okay, so for those of you who watched South Park, their current season, and for those of you who watched the last episode last week, turns out it met with critical response with Harry and Meghan. Yeah, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Yeah, they were so upset about that. They were made fun of because their South Park counterparts were Canadian. But, you know, and they kept protesting around the world saying they want the privacy. Once they have to see that they went on themselves. But because of that, there were rumors of Harry and Meghan Markle wanting to sue South Park because of it. But luckily, I think that rumor was false. But man, that was just unbelievable hearing about that. Another surprise about shows like that, there's also that infamous show Velma, the one that's on the adult animation show that's on HBO Max. But apparently there's development for season 2. I mean, I never even watched it. I mean, I heard some negative reactions about it, but I'm not really that much into it. But who knows if I'm ever going to watch it? I mean, like, yeah, this is like that show was like the most negative response ever to the show ever like that. But I mean, it's being developed for season 2. That's what I know of. Wow. But still, I prefer watching something else than that. And if you see this below, then you know what I mean. And there's also a link in the description below for the video. And the link in the description below of the sign-up petition also. So, you know, save Inside Job Season 2. And another surprise for those of you who live in Canada, the longest running the 24-hour cartoon channel Teletoon is going to be rebranded as Cartoon Network in Canada. I mean, that's a real surprise. I've heard a lot about it. I mean, Teletoon had original programming in Canada. I mean, that's like an original TV channel. But yeah, now because of that, it's going to. But now Teletoon is going to be called Cartoon Network Canada. Which is a real big shocker, and it's upset for everybody in Canada. I heard a lot about this last night on Twitter. And as for the original Cartoon Network Canada, it's going to be rebranded as Boomerang. And you know, that TV channel that has like classic cartoon channels, it's going to be rebranded as that, which is a real surprise. Okay, the one thing that I can definitely tell you about, about yesterday, I went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. You know, it's a film in which Ant-Man and the rest of the gang are accidentally sent into the quantum realm, and it's really not that bad. I mean, the movie, just like the rest of the Marvel movies, are all worth seeing, especially for this one. And yes, there are post-credits and after-credits, definitely. I don't want to spoil it that much. But yeah, with the effects and the fighting, it's really surprising. And there are a bit of surprises, and there's a little bit of a surprise that you can find that's later in the movie. It is crazy, it is odd, it is action-packed, and it is Ant-Man and the Wasp. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, see it soon as you can. Boy, let me tell you, that movie was worth something. I gave it a 4 out of 5. As for this next weekend, this coming weekend, I'm going to go see Cocaine Bear, and that one's literally based off true events. Because even the title of the movie is like that. I mean, it's about a bear who accidentally ingests cocaine and gets addicted to it like crazy and attacks anybody who who was covered in it, which makes him completely addicted to it. For a comedy horror film like that, it's just crazy. Because how are you gonna stop a bear that's completely high on cocaine? And this was definitely based on true events, as I researched it. As the original bear who actually did it just OD'd on it after ingesting it. But this one is just fictional, as who knows how they're gonna stop a bear like that, and who knows how the people who can be able to try and fight the bear stop a bear. Well, I'm gonna see you later this weekend to find out. So stay tuned later on next week in my next episode as I review Cocaine Bear. And speaking of movies, here's a surprising update I never actually told anybody about. I never watched Creed. Well, as in Creed, the film universe, that's connected to the Rocky universe. Well, I mean, it's a continuation of the Rocky universe, of course. But, Creed takes place, years after Rocky Balboa. And that was, the 6th film. The 7th film was Creed. And, it had Michael B. Jordan playing Adonis Creed, the son of Apollo Creed. But I heard of it, but I never watched them. I never watched both of those movies. But with Creed 3 coming out, I gotta start catching up to it. Especially with John Wick. I mean, I only saw the first one, but I never saw the other two. And I gotta watch it until chapter 4 premieres. But first I need to start watching the 2 Creed movies. One thing about Creed 3 is that we don't know about is that Sylvester Stallone is not going to be in Creed 3, which is technically a first from what I heard of. But I think I know why, but with Sylvester Stallone in his film scenarios, Sylvester Stallone, not with his film scenarios. I mean, he has a new show on Paramount Plus, which is Tesla King. Yeah, the Tesla King. Yeah, definitely that. Man, I mean, Sylvester Stallone on a show as the main character in this show. But on a streaming service, that is. Speaking of streaming services, here, let me show you. Let me show you as a reminder what you need to do. Save Inside Job. That's right, save Inside Job. And save Warrior Nun. Those are one of the best shows canceled on Netflix. I watched Inside Job, which was a really pretty cool animation show, but I never watched Big Mouth. I'm not really a fan of Big Mouth, but still, Netflix needs to correct their mistakes. I mean, there was also Judge Court shows. If you guys ever heard of Judge Mathis and the People's Court, they're probably going to end after 20 seasons. And I've seen and heard a few of them. I mean, Judge Mathis is in Chicago. But the People's Court, I heard, is in New York. And I think it's been way longer than Judge Mathis, I heard. I mean, for the People's Court, before Judge Marilyn Milan, there was another guy who did the People's Court, but I forgot who his name was anyway. But, man, 20 seasons after all that, for both Judge Mathis and the People's Court. And another surprising update. One last surprising update is Live with Kelly and Ryan. I mean, it's not going to be called Live with Kelly and Ryan anymore after a month or two, because Ryan Seacrest is going to be leaving the talk show after doing it for about 5 years with Kelly Ripa. I think 3 or 4 years being in with Kelly. He co-hosted the show with Kelly Ripa. And I mean, before him, it was just Kelly and Michael. But then after Michael Strahan left for Good Morning America, it was just Life with Kelly again. But I mean, he did come to terms with it, leaving the show, and even Kelly Ripa came to terms with it, and they are good friends. I mean, it is surprising it was surprising the first time when I heard that Ryan Seacrest was going to do the talk show with Kelly. The first time when I first heard about it, but man, I mean, surprising that Ryan Seacrest leaving the show after all that. But we do have some news. But there has been some good news anyway. There's already been a brand new co-host announced, and that's Mark Pellegrera. I think that's how his last name is pronounced. And he guest co-hosted the show with Kelly a few times before. I mean, he's not really brand new. But hey, I don't have a problem with it. As long as Kelly has a regular co-host with her, I mean, I'm all for it. But man, well, I mean, it's not going to be the end of show business for Ryan Seacrest. He is going to be he is and still is the host of American Idol, and nobody can take that away from him. And yet, American Idol's on ABC. But yeah, like, kudos to Ryan Seacrest. He's been on the longest. And who knows what might happen later on. But yeah. And one last final thing. Yesterday on Friday, the band Panic at the Disco, which has the only member, Brendan Urie, the founding and leading member, and basically the only member left of the band. I mean, with the live performances, he gets live performers to play the music. But he stated that the band would be disbanding, not only with himself but with the live band members after his last tour, Viva Las Vengeance. Like, he stated that the band is disbanding. And with good reason he stated, because like with his wife being pregnant, and he wants to focus more on his family. And I don't blame him. Like, there's a difference between making music and their personal lives. And Brendan Urie is finally wanting to be a family man now. Brendan Urie has been the only member who, well, not only one of the founding members, but the only member in the band to actually be in the band, and to still keep the name Panic at the Disco. There's been a lot of changes throughout the years without the band. I mean, first of all, there were just 4 members: Brendan Urie, Spencer Smith, the 2 other guitarists. Spencer Smith was the drummer, but after those 2 left a little while ago, there was also Dalton Weeks. It came to 3 people. It became three band members now. But then Spencer Smith later left because of drug issues, and then was left Brendan and Dalton the only 2 members. And the band kept on still going. But then after a few years ago, Brendan Urie was announced to be the only member left. Right? He did all the music, the singing. I mean, apart from the singing he always does, he also did the music. But when it comes to live performances, he hires live band members, like touring live band members. Which is surprising. But now after his last album, Viva Las Vengeance, and as well as the tour, the band will, I hope, will temporarily come to an end. Temporarily. I did like the music the first time around when I first heard of Panic at the Disco. But now Brendan Urie, being the only member left, decided to take a break from making music on Panic at the Disco because he wants to, and well, also from live touring as well. Because he wants to focus more time on being a family man, because his wife is pregnant and he wants to focus on that. So it might take about who knows, probably 5 or 10 years until Panic at the Disco comes back. Hopefully with not just Brendan. I would like to see a couple of the originals coming back. But who knows? I know that one of them formed a band of their own that I know of. I haven't heard of their music yet, but yeah. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the WWE Elimination Chamber that happened 2 days ago. And it was just unbelievable. I mean, it was good to watch the first few times. But with the whole show of Elimination Chamber, I give them one a 3.5 out of 5. Because apparently, I mean, there were a couple of Elimination Chamber matches. Yeah, there were a couple of Elimination Chamber matches. I mean, the first one was for the women's elimination chamber match, which was for a number one contenders match, but not a. But it wasn't for the the WWE Women's Championship. It was just for the number one contenders match on who will face the WWE Women's Champion at WrestleMania 39, and which Asuka won. I say kudos for her. But for the second one, which was the men's elimination chamber match, but it was a title defense, and it was for the United States Championship, which was the first in the history for a secondary title to be up on the line for inside an elimination chamber. And Austin Theory was defending his United States Championship against five other competitors. There was apart from Austin Theory, there was also Seth Rollins, there was Bronson Reed, there was Angelo Dawkins, one of the two guys from the Street Profits, Damian Priest from the Judgment Day, and who's the sixth guy? But what can I say from the person who got out first was Austin Theory. But apart from those other five competitors, they never had the idea to try and pin down Austin Theory first before taking down the rest. I mean, that's what I've seen happen. I mean, all those men were fighting each other, knocking each other out of commission, but they decided to pin down somebody else instead of pinning down Austin Theory first. And that's what happened. Austin Theory. Soon after all that, it was Austin Theory against Seth Rollins. I mean, it wasn't really what I expected, but the one thing that was really unexpected was Logan Paul stopping Seth Rollins from winning it. I guess we know what's going to happen at WrestleMania 39. Logan Paul against Seth Rollins. Maybe Logan still wants to get some gold, or maybe he wants to fight Austin Theory at WrestleMania 39. Well, then there was the non-elimination chamber matches. The first one was Edge and his wife Beth Phoenix against Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley, in which Edge and Beth Phoenix won. They did. It was pretty good seeing all that. It was retribution for them because Edge started Judgment Day, but he got kicked out of the Judgment Day, and then the Judgment Day started attacking him. But he and his wife Beth Phoenix got retribution by defeating them. This was pretty awesome. And then there was the other one, Bobby Lashley against Brock Lesnar, and those two had a bit of a competition because Bobby Lashley defeated Brock Lesnar a couple of times before. But Lashley won a disqualification because of Brock Lesnar giving him a low blow. Like a kicking across behind after Lashley gave him the master lock. That's what I still call it. But for Lesnar, this wasn't that fair to him. But I would say with Bobby Lashley, I mean, there's still a chance for Bobby Lashley. I mean, he was almost fired for good from the WWE, and he should have gotten the opportunity. Well, maybe not then, but soon he'll be able to get a chance to fight Roman Reigns, but probably not for title. But I don't know. Maybe that might happen. But then the last one I want to talk about, Roman Reigns is the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and he was defending his title against his former Bloodline teammate, the former honorary Uce, Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn gave everything he got. I mean, I've seen the way Sami Zayn did what he could. I almost thought he was gonna get what he can defeat Roman Reigns. I mean, he had his whole hometown to count on, especially his wife. Yeah, Sammy's hometown and Sammy's wife. Yeah, his wife was also there. Man. But unfortunately, there were conflicts. I mean, there was Jimmy Uso attacking Sami Zayn when he thought he had the opportunity. But then there was Jey Uso, who also left the bloodline. And Roman gave him an ultimatum, gave him a cheer to see whose side he's on. But before he can really do anything to Roman, Sami was going to deliver the spear to Roman, but he ducked and speared Jey Uso instead. And after all of that crazy nonsense, Roman got the upper advantage again and still has his championship. And the thing is, it's been over 900 days. 900 days. Yeah, 900 days for Roman to be undefeated. And the thing is that the commentary I heard from the commentators who were watching it also, from Michael Cole, he stated that this last champion, like in the early years, like probably in the late 70s or 80s, like this guy had it for 8 years. Crazy. And I ain't gonna wait 8 years for that. If I see another main event, I ain't gonna watch it. All I can say is that the corporate needs to start making a decision because Roman has been getting off too easy. I mean, he never actually defended his title in the tables, ladders, and chairs match. And in the elimination chamber, he never got into the elimination chamber. He never thought against any other competitors. It was only 1-on-1, but not inside the elimination chamber. That's not right. Especially for the Usos. I mean, they should have defended their title inside the elimination chamber. I mean, the New Day did it, so why can't the Usos? I mean, what the heck's going on? It's just getting unbelievable, okay? I'm just hoping for a tables, ladders, and chairs match to happen at WrestleMania 39. And we all know what the main event is. The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes against Roman Reigns. But will it be for both of the champions or for one of them? Because Cody Rhodes wanted to bring back the real classic WWE Championship, the Winged Eagle one. Yeah. And it was before that other big logo, Attitude logo. I would love to see that. I mean, I just don't like the way that I still don't like the way those two championships are. Those two main championships, the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. I mean, before that, the Universal Championship was red because it was debuted on Monday Night Raw. But when somebody got drafted to Friday Night SmackDown, it was turned to blue. I mean, with the Universal Championship, it should be bigger, like the new big gold belt, with three plates on each side, and somebody can put their name on the bottom. Like that's what it should be, like a big gold, like the letters should be looking gold, the strap should be gold, and the plate should be all gold and not hollow. But yeah, that's for the Universal Championship. But for the regular WWE Championship, I mean that one should be like, go back to the classic for now. I mean, I just don't like the way they changed that one in 2014. The way it is currently. I mean, I like the version of the Rock's better than the other one. That one was ridiculous, and it still is ridiculous. It still is ridiculous. So we got about like maybe a month and a half until WrestleMania 39 starts. But yeah, what kind of match should it be for the main event? I mean, should Roman really needs to defend both of his titles? I mean, the first one should be for the Universal Championship, and the second one should be for the WWE Championship. That was what really needs to happen. Okay, so far, but uh, now the thing is for All Elite Wrestling, will we be able to All Elite Wrestling? I like to talk about. Will we be able to see CM Punk at the end of the next, like at the last thing in the next AEW pay per view? Who knows? I mean, like I said, he got suspended because like a media scrum. Yeah, they call it that. But before that, he got injured during his championship match. I mean, and he was recovering. He didn't just get suspended. He was also recovering from surgery. I mean, so far, like probably about like a 3 or 2 more months until he comes back. Yeah. And here's the other surprising thing about Chris Jericho. He's trying to claim the rights again to his old name, his old tag team name. Like he used to work with Big Show in the WWE because they were both tag team champions, and he's trying to claim the rights to the name Jericho. It was because it was Chris Jericho and Big Show together, and they were a good tag team. And I heard that Big Show, Paul Wright, I call him Big Show, I still call him that. Like he's still trying to be able to wrestle again for AEW. And so is Mark Henry. He's also in AEW also. I mean, they both comment, I think, in AEW Dark, but I haven't been watching those episodes, and I really need to catch up to it. But yeah, I would like to see that happening. Would you like to see that happening, Jericho in All Elite Wrestling? Let me know. Oh boy. Okay, so the thing is about wrestling. Let's talk about video games now, because like I said before, like the Electronic Entertainment Expo, E3 for short. I mean, it's not going to have the big three. It's not going to have Nintendo. It's not going to have Xbox, and it's not going to have Sony PlayStation. But I mean, there's still some like video game creative companies like Square Enix, and there's also Bethesda studios that I know of. And I mean, come on, Lord and Lanny has to be talking about the next Oddworld game. I mean, am I right? I mean, we would all love to see Munch, or at least Abe trying to get to Nollybab in the sequel to Oddworld Soulstorm. But maybe we can hear more from Ayadas, or from the people who bought the rights to Fear Effect Reinvented. I mean, I'm still waiting for that game. I mean, I heard that game was a classic on the PlayStation. They only had 2 sequels. They had a canceled sequel for the PlayStation 2, which was Fear Effect Inferno. But and people were still hoping for that to happen. Then there was that revival one called the Fear Effect Sedna, which was supposed to be a continuation of the first 2 games. But they made that game so different. I didn't really like that one that much. I get that one the 2 out of 5 for that one, for Fear Effect Sedna. But now there's Fear Effect Reinvented. I even managed to see a clip of Fear Effect Reinvented. I mean, if you search that name on YouTube right now, you can see a playable demo close by with people playing that demo once. So yeah, there might be some. Oh yeah, there might also be Sega. I mean, who knows what they might be doing next? Hopefully, the Dreamcast Mini. So that's what I'm hoping that might happen on E3. I mean, if the big 3 won't come to E3, then there'll be bigger competitors that will try to compete against them. Apart from Stream. So if you guys haven't played Dead Space yet, the remake, play it now, because that's a really good game. People are really loving that game. Boy. But right now, let's hope it also comes on the Nintendo Switch also, because I have a Nintendo Switch Lite. and I would love to play that game. So, I'm David Calderon. This has been Revenge of the Show. Oh, hold on. Also, I'm trying to get people to spread the word to both of these. Seriously, do it. We need Adult Swim to bring those shows. We need Adult Swim to bring Inside Job back, and for BBC America or AMC to bring back Warrior Nun. The first thing I want to talk about is Nintendo Direct. It was released on YouTube February 8th, and there is one of the games that I'm familiar with. The one that is going to be released soon is Pikmin 4. Yeah, Pikmin 4. The popular Pikmin game in which an astronaut, in the first game, an astronaut crash lands on a planet and discovers Pikmin, and who help the astronaut repair his spaceship. But Pikmin 4 is going to be set around Earth or something, in which there's a new astronaut, which finds out more about the Pikmin and finds out about collecting all the stuff and everything. But yeah, that's what Pikmin 4 is what I know about so far. And another one, there is going to be have you guys ever heard of Karamari Damacy? I remember that on PlayStation 2, especially with the memorable melody. Yeah, the game is We Love Katamari. From what I know, From what I know is there are new features, new ways to play the game. Well, not new ways. It's still the same way to play the game. Have a ball, try and collect so much stuff as possible. But yeah, that's going to be released on the Nintendo Switch as well. And apart from that, there's also going to be downloadable content. Well, not for the game, but for a Nintendo Switch Online. There's going to be Game Boy games, for the regular Game Boy and from the Game Boy Color. Super Mario Land 2, the Golden Coins, Wario Land 3, Game & Watch, which of course is it's Game & Watch 3. And from the looks of it looks like something out of a Tiger Electronic game, which is a little bit surprising. Yeah, and those of you who played a Tiger Electronic game in the past, you will know what I mean. But yeah, there's also going to be Legend of Zelda, Kirby's Dream Land, even Alone in the Dark New Nightmare, which I did not know had a Game Boy Color game in the past. I've heard it's the 2001 version of Alone in the Dark. These two people go into a mansion. It's sort of like Resident Evil, but with more dark creatures. But yeah, but the Game Boy Color one, I was amazed with the graphics. I can't believe it got, from the graphics of what I've seen, it looked like something that the Resident Evil game was supposed to be for the Game Boy Color. The first Resident Evil game. That's what I mean. So yeah, that trailer of Resident Evil 4 was released on PlayStation State of Play 2023. Yeah, just like when Nintendo Direct, the PlayStation had their own kind of event, which was called State of Play, which they showed trailers of upcoming games and new features for the PlayStation 4 and 5. Which, of course, I want to talk about the new PlayStation Virtual Reality, or in short, PSVR 2. That's what they call it. And they have a few games that's coming out for that feature. Because it's not the Virtual Boy. Because I tried the PlayStation Virtual Reality, the first one. Yeah, I played a demo of it when I was at Best Buy a long time ago. But yeah, the PlayStation VR 2 shows games with good graphics, and yes. Not to mention this upcoming gaming that I heard about. If you guys seen the Suicide Squad movies and read about Suicide Squad, then there is going to be a Suicide Squad game. Yeah, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I heard of that title once, and it was before they re-released the trailer for James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. But this game takes place 15 years after Batman Arkham Asylum, or Arkham Knight that I heard of. It would be pretty awesome to see something like that. Well, and let's at least play it. I'm still upset about what's happening with E3, and that is a shocker. But who knows what will happen this year on E3? Yeah, in the game, there's also allies Luis Serra, which helps out Leon. Yeah, this time he helps out Leon throughout a bit of the game, as was in the gameplay trailer I saw, as well as Hunnigan, which he contacts. And yes, the shop is also there, which Leon gets weapons and tries to buy upgrades and stuff. Yes, it deals with Las Plagas and Los Dos Gigantes. Man, the game has good graphics, better improvements, and I can't wait for it to come out. Yeah, it's a way better predecessor. Yeah, that's how it was before in the regular game, because that's how in the first person perspective. But apparently, who knows how different it will be in the storyline scenario in the game. But who knows? We gotta wait. Next month in March. I mean, in a few days in March. March comes in a couple of days that I know of. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 will be coming soon later this month. And March. Definitely. One last thing I want to talk about is Ring of Honor. Because you know that Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor Wrestling. And yeah, there were a few pay-per-views since Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor Wrestling. But now there's finally going to be live television. I never watched Ring of Honor Wrestling. I mean, I heard about it when I was trying to find out more about how all of the wrestling started. But yeah, all I know is that Ring of Honor Wrestling is going to last an hour. It's 60 minutes. And it's going to be on the Honor Club. It's a streaming service that I know of. And that's how you can watch Ring of Honor television. But yeah, so far what I know about Ring of Honor Wrestling, I've seen a few matches on All Elite Wrestling, Dynamite, and Rampage. Which were pretty good matches. And heck, if it wasn't for the Ring of Honor six-man tag championship, which 3 men get the tag team, like 3-on-3 tag team, the AEW World Trios Championship wouldn't have happened. But yeah, so far I know it got filmed on Universal Studios in Orlando or in Hollywood. But who knows when? Who knows when it? Well, I heard it's going to premiere on March 4th. That I heard of. So if I do have the chance to watch it, I'll let you all know in the next episode. So I'm David Calderon. Thank you for watching Revenge of the Show. Like and subscribe below, and also don't forget about this. I'm still trying to spread the word. So yeah, I'm David Calderon, and thank you all for watching. See you all next time.